What's going on, guys? It is Carly here, bringing you day number 11 of my 31 Days of Horror 2021, and today we are actually just moving right along with the Universal monster movie box set collection. I decided to just kind of keep going with it. It'd be nice to, finish off the box set. That doesn't mean that all my reviews are just going to be from the set. For one, I don't think there would be enough to finish off the 31 days, and also I just want to mix it up a bit, but I just, figured I would just go along with it. And yeah, so we are on Frankenstein, and in particular I'm going to be talking about Son of Frankenstein from 1939. This was the third film to come out following Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein. And this one essentially follows the son of Dr. Frankenstein. They're still in the same old town, and the townspeople, of course, have a bad taste in their mouth about old Frankenstein and what he created, and they think the monster that he created was a bad thing, obviously, and kind of left a bad, I guess, mark on the town. So the son comes around, and he finds that this character of Igor actually has Frankenstein kind of in this comatose, I guess, type of phase. He's not really moving or anything. He's just laying down on a table in this basement dungeon thingy. And so Frankenstein's all like, oh, you know what? I would like to bring him up to my lab and, try to revive him and just clear the family name, essentially. He wants to show that the monster is really not all that bad, and his dad wasn't a bad, crazy person for bringing it about. So that happens, and then of course people in the town start winding up dead, and there's some weird sightings and whatnot, and this what's his name? I forget what his name is actually in the movie. I don't know why I'm looking at this because it doesn't say, but the son of Frankenstein, I guess I'll keep calling him, is kind of like, oh crap, and has to try to figure out if it's the monster doing it, and if it is, it's like, oh, I guess I probably shouldn't have brought him back, because then he would be responsible. So that's essentially what goes on in this movie. The movie is actually very much focused on the Igor character, more so than, I guess, Frankenstein's monster. He really kind of steals the show, and that's of course played by Bela Lugosi, and I think he's very good in that role. Has a very good charisma, if you will. It's just a very intriguing character, and I did enjoy him. The scenes with the monster I think are good, but like I said, I feel like it's not as much focused on the monster as the first two movies were, but there's not really an issue with that, because Igor is an entertaining person as well. There's a funny scene in this where, I guess supposedly Igor was hanged previously, but obviously he has come back to life, and he's kind of in this room, and this guy's like, oh, well, he's like, can I be hanged again? And he's like, no, because you already were once. We can't do it again. And they're like, why can't we do it again? And he's like, the executioner did it once, didn't he? And it's like, yeah, but the dude's still sitting here. It's kind of just like I found it kind of funny the way it all plays out. I don't know if it was supposed to play funny, but it was just, humorous to me. Oddly enough, this film runs about, I think it's 99 minutes, and that's very interesting in my opinion, because the other movies are all very short, 70 minutes or below, it seems. I don't remember actually what Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein run times are, but spoiler alert, but I watched Ghost of Frankenstein as well after this, and that one's only 67 minutes, and that's the one that followed this. So it's very interesting that this one was honestly the regular full-length movie that you would get in today's time, as opposed to a lot of the movies, not only in the Frankenstein franchise, but just the entire Universal monsters in general. So I thought that was, like I said, interesting. It makes it feel like more of a cinematic film. It just feels like a bigger movie because it has that runtime. You know, do I feel it needed to be that long? Maybe not necessarily. I think it could have maybe been cut down a little bit. 10 or 15 minutes I think would have been okay, because I do think it's got a decent amount going on to keep it entertaining. But you know, like I said, I think especially for a movie at the time, it of course runs into its slow moments and just parts where there's not a lot going on. But you know, I think they could have maybe sped some stuff up, but it's not horribly that much of a slog in my opinion. But overall, I did enjoy this one. It was definitely interesting. Like I said, I wish, I said this with previous movies, but I haven't watched Frankenstein or The Bride of Frankenstein in a while, so it's hard to really, you know, compare quality with that. But I honestly think this is a pretty worthy follow-up. You know, I do like how there's some continuity going on in these films. You know, it's all in the same world and townspeople just being fed up and such. That's another thing. This movie really is good with the atmosphere and the set design, I feel. I love the whole village in these movies, these Frankenstein films. It's just very eerie, like old-timey looking, and I really dig that, especially with the black and white. It just makes it all the more perfect, and I think they highlight that a lot in this movie, more so than in the first two from my memory, so I really enjoyed that as well. But anyway, Son of Frankenstein, like I said, I think it's a pretty solid movie. I can't really compare it too much to the first two since I don't remember them a whole lot, but if I had to rate this, I would probably give it a 7.5 out of 10, because like I said, I do think it's a good film, and doesn't feel over, like it feels more cinematic, I guess, like I said, where it's not rushed or anything, because it does have a longer length to it as opposed to these other ones that could honestly be like episodes of a TV series with their length. So I think that's kind of interesting and cool. So yeah, 7.5 out of 10 for Son of Frankenstein from 1939. And yeah, that's going to do it for this review, guys. Thank you once again for joining me. And as always, I'll see you tomorrow for day number 12.